Yeah. Hey, it's time to get up. Nah. For real. Actual King Smith. Let's go. Wake up. What you sleeping on your life for? Wake up. Every day's a chance for more. Wake up. Hands up. Let the beat thump. Wake up. Hey, wake up. Alarm clock ringing, but your mind still tired. Dreams on snooze, yeah, goals on fire. Everybody talk, but few take steps. Same old excuses, different regrets. I ain't here preaching, I'm here reminded. Pressure make diamonds, time and divine. You got breath in your body, fire in your chest. So why you living like you set up for less? Get up off that couch, move your feet. New mindset every time we meet. No doom scrolling, no fear feed. It's the real talk over funky beats. Wake up. What you sleeping on your life for? Wake up. Every day is a chance for more. Wake up. Hands up, let the beat thump. Wake up. Hey, go. No cape, no crown, still king energy. Talk my truth, that's my identity. Life get heavy, yeah, I've been stressed. Still showed up, put hard in the test. If they doubt you, good, prove them wrong. Same doubt, fuel, make you go strong. Ain't waiting on luck, I hustle with faith. Mind on progress, foot on the gas. Say what? Say now. Say move. Say how. Say what? Say what? Get in the bed, shut up and get up and wake up. It's a moment, don't waste none. Wake up. Sun still rise, so you ain't done. Wake up. Beat knocking, let the soul jump. Wake up. Hey, wake up. Yeah. This ain't motivation. This is a reminder. Wake up.
Yeah, what's up? What's good? What's happening? Welcome to Wake Up with the Actual King Smith. We are live December the 22nd, 2025, or just a couple of days until Christmas. The end of the longest year is almost upon us. But if you're here, be thankful that you're alive. Be thankful that you got to see another day. And then I'm going to give a shout out to everybody that's out there that is tuning in live, as I appreciate y'all waking up if you're here in the United States with me, your boy, the Actual King Smith. And if you're across the world, because I do got international viewers out there, I want to thank y'all for tuning in as well. Today we are going to talk about forgiveness. And forgiveness is something that I recently just woke up and took the action of doing, and I wanted to talk about it a little bit today. And I want to open up today's stream with a quote from the 18th century poet Alexander Pope. Y'all have likely heard it 1,000 times, but I want y'all to really understand it and hear it this morning. There's a quote about forgiveness in which Alexander Pope said, "To err is human, to forgive is divine." To err is human, to forgive is divine. Now, what does that mean? To err is human. That means to mess up, to make mistakes, and to do some things that you won't get right is just part of our DNA. But that second half, to forgive, being divine, to me, that suggests that when we forgive, we're doing something that's beyond our basic human nature and our basic instincts. And that if you could get that you'll have a life level up. So let's unpack that a bit. Why is forgiving so hard? Why do we hold on to grudges like it's gold? And I like to ask y'all, the people that are watching, those that are either going to catch this live or on the replay, what do y'all do to finally let go? Let's take a look in the comment section and see who we have in the building. Shout out to God Happen to Me's in the building. Said good morning. Good morning, babe. Hope you are enjoying your first day of Christmas break. I sent you something to check out in which your teacher created a little skit with the kids in which it was like, hey, look, it's Christmas break. Y'all got to go. You ain't got to go home, but you got to get up out this classroom. I thought it was hilarious, and I think that you'll find it funny. When you get some time, check it out. All right. Forgiveness. The high cost of forgiveness. I want you to start by asking yourself a question. Put a 1 in the chat if you're currently angry at somebody for something that they did more than a month ago. Put a 2 in the chat if it's been a year or more. And I've got to answer my own thing by putting a 2 in the chat. I had been angry at something, at someone, and something for a while. And I didn't really realize that it was bothering me until I couldn't stop thinking about it. And even though I thought that I was over it and I thought that I had let it go, the fact that I couldn't stop thinking about it was weighing on me. And I woke up recently. Don't remember if it was Friday night or Saturday night, but it was one of those nights that I woke up and I was just like, you know what? I'm done with it. I forgive the person for what happened. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit later on. There's a famous saying that resentment is like drinking poison and waiting for the other person to die. And I think that when you try to stay angry at something, right, that you think that you're punishing the person that hurt you, and that you're going, man, I ain't gonna let this person off the hook. But if we're being honest with ourselves, do you think that person is waking up and thinking about you? I don't think so. They're out there living their best life. Likely not even knowing that you're mad or upset about whatever it is that has you mad and upset. But what's going on with you? You're wasting brain cells thinking about it. Sleep's probably not good. Snapping at people that don't even have anything to do with you or what's going on. And the other person is still out there living their best life. There was something that somebody said that kind of made sense to me from my time in the military, was like, think about anger as like a rucksack. Because let's fast forward to the person that I am now. I had to grow a lot. I wouldn't say I was an angry person growing up, but there were a lot of things that people did that I just didn't understand, and it would bother me. And somebody said, man, imagine if you channeled your frustrations a little bit different. And that imagine that your frustration is like a rucksack, and a rucksack's like a big backpack that you pack things with that are essential for a mission or something that you're going on. And that every time you're frustrated, you pick up a rock. It don't matter how big that rock is, and you put that rock inside of your rucksack. No matter how big, how small, if you keep adding rocks to your rucksack after a lot of time, because, and trust me, I'm going somewhere with this, after a lot of time, that rucksack is going to be real heavy. It doesn't matter how big or how small those rocks were. If you build up a lot of them over time, that rucksack is going to be a weight. And I was the type of person that I could not let things go. And this person knew that. This person knew that I would hold on to things for a very long time, be frustrated about it, and be mad. And I wasn't able to necessarily see that that was a bad thing for me. And eventually I had to let that rucksack go. And once you did, it's like a weight lifted. That's what unforgiveness does. It doesn't hurt the other person or people, it weighs you down. God happened to me said, I love that analogy. Thank you, babe. And that there's some truth in that. Absolutely. Shout out to King AXY67. Every time you get to 67, you know that you got to do that these days. But I appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in. Now, what forgiveness is and what it is not. Let's clear up some things about forgiveness. And this is something that I had to learn, and I'm still learning, really. So remember, it was Mr. Pope that said, to err is human, to forgive is divine. And let's clear the air up on a couple of things that I think that forgiveness is not. And this is why I think that people struggle with forgiveness. But before I get into it, I think people think that if you forgive, it makes you weak. And I want to challenge that a bit. I myself was the longest person that thought that. But I don't think that forgiveness makes you weak. I believe it makes you stronger. One thing that forgiveness is not is that it is not reconciliation. And that's a big word with a lot of syllables. But I think that people think that if I forgive this person, that I have to invite them into my house. I have to invite them out to the barbecue. Anytime that I'm doing something, I'm going to shoot this person a message and be like, yo, I forgive you. So let's kick it again. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. You can forgive somebody and still say, hey, you're not allowed back over here. Forgiveness is about the past. Reconciliation, however, is about the future. Forgiveness is handled alone, whereas to reconcile, you could say that it takes two people. You could say that. You can choose to forgive somebody that's done you wrong and not answer their phone calls ever again. You could choose to forgive somebody that's done you wrong and not go to the one football game that y'all used to enjoy. Or invite that person over for Thanksgiving or Christmas dinner with your family. I lost a good friendship that to this day, it's still weird to me. And I thought that that person should reach out to me and apologize for the disrespect that they did to me. Nope. Nope. I had to forgive them for what they said and what they did, and just understand that the friendship's not going to be the same again, and that's okay. That is a-okay. Life still goes on. Forgiveness is also not condoning. It doesn't mean that you're saying it's okay that you did that. Nah, it wasn't okay. It was still wrong. But forgiveness is saying to yourself, or acknowledging that what that person did was wrong, but you're choosing not to carry that rucksack with you going forward. Again, you don't have to condone it, because that's where I used to get things confused. I would feel, and I don't like feeling statements. I can stand feeling statements, actually. But I would feel as though that if I was forgiving somebody, that it was like I was condoning what it was that they were doing. Like, oh, you got to do this and get away with it. But in the end, forgiveness is not condoning. And that's one of the key ones right there. I need you to understand that. The third thing that forgiveness is not is forgetting. I can't stand the saying forgive and forget. Where did that come from, by the way? Where did forgive and forget come from? I hope it's not biblical. Let me see. Forgive and forget. Let me search this up. Forgive and forget etymology. Let's see. Understanding the phrase forgive and forget. I'm going a little bit off the cuff here. It's an idiom used in situations when someone has made a mistake or caused harm, but has shown remorse and has taken steps to make amends. By forgiving them, you're able to move on from the situation and maintain a positive relationship. No, so it's an idiom. It's a common idiom, but it doesn't tell me here on Google where it came from. Okay. On the other hand, let's see. Some antonyms for forgive and forget include phrases like hold a grudge or bear a grudge. It's not telling me where it's coming from. It's misconceived that, but that doesn't appear to be the case. Okay. There's a quote from the book Don Quixote that says, "Let us forget and forgive injuries." All right. Let me come back here. I don't think that it's impossible to forget. I literally think it's is it biologically impossible to forget unless you get amnesia, bumped upside of the head, then boom, yeah. True forgiveness is remembering, but without the sting, that weighted rucksack. That's what true forgiveness is. Is being able to understand and know that you might have a scar. Some scars are physical, some are mental. You might have a scar. You're definitely going to recall that injury unless you've got amnesia, some type of blockage, whatever. But when you let go, it just simply doesn't hurt anymore. You can take a look at that scar and be able to move on from it. Which of those are the hardest for you? For realizing that forgiveness is not reconciliation, realizing that forgiveness is not condoning, or realizing that forgiveness is not forgetting. I'll tell you the hardest one for me. The hardest one for me is the condoning part. There's a lot in me that wants to believe that people feel as though they won or they're getting away with something because I have forgiven them. I used to think that way. I don't anymore, but that doesn't mean that it's easy. That does not mean that it is easy. Let me see if we have any comments before I go on to the next one. We got God happened to me said, you asked a question earlier that I need to answer now. This is me putting a 2 because the person I struggle to forgive is yourself. It's Darian said, good morning and happy Monday of a busy holiday week. First of all, pause for the content. It's Darian. Thank you for tuning in. I checked out the hour-long live stream, or it was a pre-record. I don't know if it was live, that you did on Downsize. And I really enjoyed that content. I actually got some nuggets from that. I was intending on watching it today while I worked today during the earlier parts of my day, but I started playing a little bit of it and it was actually really interesting. So thanks for going on there. Thanks for sharing your steps that you're taking on the GLP-1 that you're taking. And I got some things that I'm looking at incorporating. So thanks for posting that. And I subscribe to your Substack as well. I'm fairly new to Substack, so I don't know what I'm doing. I think I subscribe. I'll take a look later on. But God happened to me. You talked about forgiving yourself. And I wish I would have put some things together about that. I think I might towards the end. But that one right there, yeah, that's interesting. God happened to me said it requires you to continuously forgive the person and the action every time it comes or they come to your mind. It's Darium said, the hardest part of forgiveness for me was understanding that it was more for the other person. Hey, thanks for providing that input to that question. Shout out to Pete. Pete said, good morning. Hey, Pete, good morning, brother. I give you a salute and thank you for tuning in. Man, I really appreciate your support. It means a lot when other Black men come see me and understand the plight. Yeah, man, 100%. I appreciate you because my content covers a lot of different things. And it was one of my earlier pieces where I talked about me being on Zipbound, that's how you found my channel, right? But you still pop in from time to time on the other days that I do this type of content. So, hey, man, thank you for tuning in, and I appreciate your support a lot, brother. Thank you. Now, let's talk about the process. All right. I talked about the rucksack earlier and being able to set that rucksack down and be able to walk on. You don't have to be best friends with people that have hurt you. You don't have to continue to have familiar relationships with people that have hurt you, right? But how do you actually do it? Do you just put your phone on do not disturb or block people so that the people that have hurt you don't reach out and contact you again? Do you disengage with them on social media if you're somebody that uses social media and you block certain people out so that that person no longer has contact with you? Do you move? Do you physically find another domicile and place and pack up your things and start life anew at another location? All of those things sound fairly easy to do, except for moving in this economy, unless you're balling. Because to pack up and move, it requires a lot, especially if you have a family, job, all of that jazz. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about some of the steps that you can take in your mind to get through and forgive. Step one, I would say, feel the anger. Don't try and avoid it. Feel it. Sit there like a Sith Lord, seething in the anger. Put yourself in a dark room with some red lights or go in a sauna, stew, and just feel it. Now, that might sound counterintuitive, and I'm laughing, but really, I think that what I'm trying to say with this, or what I'm trying to convey really to people, is that it's okay to acknowledge that you are pissed off. Go ahead and sit there and just say, man, I am furious. I am mad because that person disrespected me. Validate your feelings. It's all good. Validate that anger. I smile because this is one that I used to avoid because I don't like feeling stuff, right? I kind of call myself, if you're a fan of Star Trek, I'm kind of like Spock. Logic drives me a lot. Logic makes most of the decisions that I make, and I don't like feeling-based things. That's just not how I'm built. I'm not saying that it's wrong or bad. I'm just saying it's not how I'm built. But in this case, if you want to get to where you forgive somebody, because forgiveness is a bit of a feeling, right? It is a feeling. Then you have to live in where feelings live, and it's okay to be angry. Go ahead and feel that anger. Sit there like a Sith Lord. The next step, I think, is you should shift your perspective, change your mindset. And that's the divine part that I believe that Alexander Pope was talking about. And it's hard. It is hard to see humanity in somebody that hurt you. For as much as I do not like our current president, is there good in him? Can you see humanity in the person, in the man? Right? There's that saying, hurt people. That when somebody lashes out at you, it's usually because they're hurting inside. Hey, how did he grow up? What did he have to go through and see? I mean, so say what you want, but it's an accomplishment to be able to make it to one of the highest offices in the land, no matter how you got there. Like in modern times, not going to go back to early 19 and 1800s because only certain people were qualified to be president of the U.S. way back then. But in modern times, I mean, it's an accomplishment. But you don't have to agree with somebody. But if you can, should I say this? If you can pity the person instead of choosing to feel hate and shift your perspective about the person, then you win. You win. And I'm all about winning. Let me just get up front about that. But I'm all about doing it ethically, morally. I waver on some moral things a bit, but I'm a lot more bigger on ethics than I am on morals. But that's a different topic. I'd say probably one of the last steps that you could take is that there's an exercise that you could do that involves either doing like what I do, get on camera, sit down. You could use your laptop, computer, or a cell phone and talk to the camera. With things like Google Gemini, you can talk to Gemini. You can tell Gemini, pretend to be whoever, this person. I would like to have a conversation with you so that I can get this off my chest and end up forgiving you. That's a crazy therapy tool to think about. But I think it can be effective. It's one of the positive uses of AI. Now, you can say, well, King, what about just directly reaching out to the person? You can certainly do that too. Has anybody in this chat ever spoke directly to somebody and have said to that person, I forgive you? I've done it a few times. I've done it a few times where somebody has reached out to me and apologized for something. And I say, hey, man, it's okay. I forgive you. I've reached out to some people and they've forgiven me. Some people can't do that. And that's okay. If you can't do that, use AI. Or sit down and write a letter to the person. Address it to them. Dear so-and-so. Get everything off your chest and be rough about it. Don't try to write it in such a manner that you still feel like you're protecting the person that you're writing to. Say all the mean, nasty things that you want to, get it out. And when it's done, you don't have to send it to that person, but just getting it out is a release, and it has been proven to help. And after you write that letter, you can grab a lighter, put it in an envelope, seal it, and light it on fire and release it. For some reason, that helps. Ask me how I know. Let me see if we got any comments here before I go to the next segment. Let's see. As Darium said, I love that forgive yourself is the hardest. I need to reflect on that today. I have sabotaged myself so much because I felt like I deserved pain. If I forgave myself more, it would fuel my healing. I'm going to start that. I'm going to start it because I want to ponder on that one a bit after the live stream. Thanks for putting that in. Ooh, man. I'm looking at the time. Got happen to me said block and disengage. There's nothing, there's nothing wrong with blocking and disengaging. Okay, 100%. Pete said, I just kick him in the balls and then block him. That works too. God to me said, I create physical distance between me and that person and allow God to heal me emotionally. Bars. Regarding what I said earlier, no, I struggle to see any good in him. Yet I know that he is still one of God's children, and the Bible calls me to do certain things. I hate no one. I may not like their politics or actions, but I don't hate the person. And you did the letter thing. That's awesome. That's awesome. You've done that before. That's like I said, when I was going through therapy for some stuff, that was one of the things that I did, and I found that to be real effective. Pete says, so does that mean that I can't kick him in the balls? I mean, Pete, you could. You could. You might pay for it later on, but you could. Me said we should do that today. Let's release some things. Hey, babe, you know what? I could be there to support you. I'm gonna have to think about this. I don't have anything to release. I've released the thing that I needed to release, which prompted me to do this live stream. But if you have something, let's do that today. Let's support each other. If I can think of something that I need to release, then we surely can do it together. All right. Oh, I do have a part about forgiving myself. Look at that. All right. Forgiving myself. Let's go. I didn't think that I did. When forgiving yourself, just like some of the people in the chat talked about earlier, you can be the hardest person to forgive. It might sound corny, but take a look in the mirror and look at the person that you see in front of you. There's this thing that I like to do whenever I wake up in the morning, and this is a sidebar. I like to, after I use the restroom in the morning and throw some mouthwash and gargle before I come and do a live stream, I like to stand in front of the mirror and kind of do like the superhero pose. Back up, shoulders out, it kind of helps get my mindset in the right mood to start off the day. And I do it so much now that it's just a habit. Something that might be another good habit to do is to, at times, when you've got something that's weighing you down, stand in front of a mirror and forgive yourself. Sometimes you are the person who has erred. You are the human and the person that messed up. And we've got a couple of people in the chat today that have talked about forgiving themselves and how difficult that it can be when they are the ones that messed up. You should treat yourself with the same grace that you would give somebody else. And if you learn from that mistake and you're a different person now because of it, then let that old version of you go. Let it go. Like Elsa, let it go. Let it go. I heard somebody say you can't drive a car if you're staring at a rear view mirror the entire time. And that's a whole bar when you think about it. And I think that that applies to being able to move forward instead of like Tupac staring at the world in a rear view. It's okay to be human. To err is human. But to forgive is divine. Let's wrap up today because I got to get to my job. In closing, I want you to think about someone, some event. Maybe it's yourself, family member, friend, loved one, ex-loved one. Think about that person that you need to release today. You don't have to call them. You don't have to text them. You just have to make a decision today that I'm going to put that rucksack down. It's about being able to walk with that weight lifted off of you. I want to end this stream today with a quote from Martin Luther King, who knew a thing or two about facing hate with grace. And it was Dr. Martin Luther King that said, we must develop and maintain the capacity to forgive. He who is devoid of power to forgive is devoid of the power to love. There is some good in the worst of us and some evil in the best of us. And when we discover this, we are less prone to hate our enemies. I dig that quote. Stevie Wonder, and this is a bit of a spoiler, I just watched the Dave Chappelle special that was on Netflix today. And Stevie Wonder wanted Dave Chappelle, and this is a spoiler, so cover your ears for the next 30 seconds. Stevie Wonder had asked Dave Chappelle to go to John McCain's funeral that was in DC. And John McCain was one of the people that voted against Martin Luther King holiday being a federal holiday. He was the one person that voted against it. Yet Stevie Wonder and Stevie Wonder's estate and family was there with Martin Luther King's family to help lobby and push MLK to be a national federal holiday. And Stevie Wonder was still able to forgive McCain for that. Because, you know, to err is human, right? And I thought that that was fascinating. To still have that kind of a thought process, to be able to support somebody's family because Senator McCain has done a lot for this nation in a positive way. And even though he voted against Martin Luther King being a federal holiday, that still doesn't make him a bad person. That's how I look at it anyway. And I thought that it was timely to hear that story that Dave Chappelle shared when I knew that I was going to be ending my show or my live stream with the quote from Martin Luther King. So that's the goal for today. Got after me. We're going to see each other a little bit later on. Let's do that. Thanks for hanging out with me, y'all. If this helped, hit the like button. If you want to send it to somebody that you forgive. If you can't say it yourself, send this to them. All right. Let me see if we got any comments before I close. Pete said, I can't forgive and never will. Pete. So maybe one day you and I should talk about that. Got happened to me, said, excellent stream, King. Simply amazing. Thank you, babe. I appreciate that. Pete. Learn to forgive, my man. Let that rucksack go, brother. That's my time. Oh, okay. You said you can't forgive yourself. All right. Thank you. Because I was like, wait, hold up. You can't forgive yourself. And you never will. You got to work on that, man. I had to learn some things through therapy. I'm just going to put that on Jump Street. There were some things that was hard for me to realize that a therapist a long time ago kind of helped give me some tools in my toolkit, so to speak, to be able to live life with a lot less frustrations and a lot less, I don't know, hatred for other people and myself. Maybe, just maybe, you need to add some things to your toolkit so that you can make that easier for yourself. And you've got some support around you that I think can be a good start. That's my stream. I'll be back tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel. Thanks for tuning in. I'm out. Peace.
Yeah. Come on. Yeah. Trumpets blare the golden call. A throne awaits, I rise so tall. Drums like thunder, shake the hall. Royal robe, I wear the weight. Diamonds cut the night, no debate. Heavy is the head, but I'm feeling great. Crown me king, crown me king. Horns will shout, let the kingdom sing. Crown me king, crown me king. Bow to the sound, feel the power I bring. Yeah. I bring.